let's look ahead to the future. You've obviously signed with Frank Warren. What was the decision behind that, and what is your relationship like with Frank?
So I'm actually close with two people at Queensbury, Andy Ayling and my manager, Simon Legg. And the decision for me, I felt as though it was the best decision for me to make for several reasons I don't really want to go into. But what I can say is that we have the BT Sport platform, um, one of the biggest platforms in the world. Frank has some of the best fighters in the UK. They're teamed up with Top Rank in America and ESPN. They've got the two-time world champion, Tyson Fury, amongst other champions. And I just felt as though I needed to build my career. And I feel as though their platform is the best platform for me to do so. You know, I feel as though with other companies, they're rushing their fighters a little bit. And I feel as though I'm young. I don't need to rush. I'm not going anywhere. I'm fit. I'm healthy. I want to take my time. So for me, that was the best decision to make.
You're
And the
obviously.
other question, I think I
Sorry.
missed something.
Oh, it was just like what your relationship is with Frank, like how you met and stuff.
Yeah, my relationship is good with everybody in boxing. In my opinion, I seem to be quite good with everyone on every side. So I'm trying to stay away from the politics in the game. But I guess sometimes you get caught up. But yeah, my relationship with Queensbury, everybody at Queensbury is good. My relationship with everyone at Matchroom, etc., is good as well. I still train with some Matchroom fighters. A lot of my friends, associates within boxing, are with Matchroom, and some are with Frank. So yeah, for me, in my mind, there's no sides, if that makes sense. But I felt as though it was the best decision for me to make. And I'm glad I also had the opportunity. And I'm also very grateful that I can sit down with such people, because a lot of people aren't in the position I'm in. Some people have to take the small hall route, the ticket sales route, you know, but I believe, and I went out of my way to make sure I studied the game away from the sport. Pro boxing is not just about being able to be fit and fight. There's a lot more to it. And I literally study the game every single day, not just watching boxing. I study the business aspect of it. I study marketing. I study commercial aspect of things. The list will go on and on and on. I watch YouTube videos on how to, I watch tutorials on not just boxing, on marketing, on business. I watch TED Talks. I watch it all. I watch it all. And in my opinion, I think you add that all together and you can make the best of any situation.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned that you're going to be competing at welterweight, but I can't remember specifically how you said it. That like you don't have to specifically make welterweight; you can compete at super welter as well.
Yeah, so I've recently learned that you only need to make championship weight in championship fights.
Mm-hmm.
So one would think that, oh, you know, I'm going to box at welterweight, I need to be 66.6. That's not the case at 147. You can box a little bit heavier, but then when it comes to a title fight, of course, you've got to make the weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be in around probably 68 kilos, but I think I can make welterweight. I believe so.
Okay. How do you assess the welterweight and super welterweight divisions, like both domestically and at the top level?
I think that, okay, at the top level, welterweight is always a division that is action-packed. There's a mix of power and a mix of skill, you know, because in my opinion, as the weights go higher, there's less skill and more power, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've got, in my opinion, the best pound for pound fighter, number one, Terence Crawford. He's in welterweight division, the WBO champ. Errol Spence, the number two. Manny Pacquiao still up there, surprisingly, but he's a living legend. You know, we've got guys like Danny Garcia. I'm a big Danny Garcia fan. Sean Porter, he'll be a problem for anybody. And on the domestic scene, I pay attention to it, but I kind of don't care, in my opinion. I feel as though the only person I should be paying attention to is myself. And I'm only competing against myself at this moment in time. Once we get into title contention, then I can think about the other fighters. I do pay attention to them, but I don't care, if I'm honest.
What?
But we have a decent welterweight division. I wouldn't say we have any world beaters just yet. The super welterweight division is also quite interesting, but I don't really care, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
British level.
What is the dream for you as like a professional fighter? What have you set out on your journey to achieve?
Win titles. How I look at it is like this: if I could box 4 years, being at like 50%, that's what my doctors told me, on heavy medication, still able to win fights, win the London championships, then imagine me healed, no health issues. I'm going to be a different problem. You know, I believe that I'm talented. I believe I have the potential to achieve big things. And if I knuckle down, which I am, I believe I win titles, easily win titles.
Do you ever go and visit Congo?
You know what? I actually said, it's an interesting one. I actually originally wanted to visit Congo before I had my pro debut. It's a myth now, because as soon as this is lifted, straight back in the gym. But I really, really wanted to, but I had so much to sort out. Then I had the operations, because I haven't been there since 2000. So I was born in Congo. At the time it was called Zaire. There was a huge civil war. So we had to leave in 2000. And then a few years prior, before I came to the UK, I was living in Lusaka, Zambia. My uncle was the ambassador of Congo to Zambia at the time. So we were out there because Congo was too dangerous. And then, funny story is, 87, middle of the night / morning, my mum wakes me up. She tells me, Jonathan, you're going to live with your father in London, UK. I knew what London was because I saw it on the news. We had BBC News back then. But other than that, that's all I knew from London was BBC News. She put me on a plane on my own, age 7, to travel over 7,000 miles. I double checked that on Google because I was actually having this debate with someone recently. And I came here, been here ever since. Haven't been to Africa since, but I'd love to visit. I'd love to visit.
Do you have any aspirations to, maybe one day headline a show out there?
I have slightly different aspirations for Africa. If it made sense, why not? But for me, I feel as though being a Congolese, being Congolese,
Yeah.
I've come to learn that there are a lot of Congolese people doing their thing, whether it be in football, music. There's many Congolese people around the world who are talented, and I want to unite them in one way or another so that we can all combine our greatness, our creativity, and do some projects back home, if that makes sense. But because I grew up in quite a how can I explain it? Coming to London is very different from being over there, right? So I've pretty much grown up in a neighborhood where there isn't many Congolese people. And because I came to this country on my own, I only had my father and a few family members. So I was never really around Congolese people. But now we have things like Instagram where you can connect with people. I've been trying to connect with Congolese athletes from all over the world, from whether it be in Sweden, America, Germany, France, Belgium, Congolese creatives, Congolese models, and I want to create some projects down the line.
You've obviously mentioned it already in this interview that, you're a product of Finchley ABC, a gym that's, most recently linked with Anthony Joshua. what sort of influence has being around AJ had on your career?
Huge influence. I mean, I've learned so much that you can't even learn. The amount I've learned from being around AJ, people would pay thousands for. Honestly, like I've been so blessed, and I'm so grateful for being and having the opportunity to be around AJ. I've learned so much. Honestly, I've learned so much. You know, seeing him prior to the Olympics, going to Olympics, winning gold, winning British, jumping straight into the IBF, unifying, being the #1 heavyweight in the world. He hasn't changed. As a character, as a person, he has not changed. And he's always been the way he is now. Honestly, that guy, he never rests. I've spent so much time with him, he doesn't rest. He just works, working. And he's taught me so much. If it wasn't for AJ, KD, and a few others on his team, I may not be as knowledgeable as I am today. And they taught me so much. I became a sponge, literally, in the sense that I learned so much from being around AJ and his team that I just soaked in the information, but I wasn't applying it to myself because I'll be honest, to an extent, how can I explain it? I got carried away, and I was happy to be around rather than to be around to learn and then go home and apply that to myself. So being a sponge and soaking information, I needed to be more than just that. I needed to be the main character in my own story. I didn't want to be known as AJ's friend. I want to be known as JK, Jonathan Kumuteo, the champ, who is also a friend of Anthony Joshua, who is the heavyweight champion. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I had to take myself away and apply what I learned to myself. And it's working out. It's working out. So I'd like to say I'm still a sponge that applies what he learns to himself. And I'm ever so grateful. Honestly, I've learned so much, not even just about boxing, about being the best version of yourself. So shout out to AJ and his team. They connected me with a lot of people as well. So I can't thank him and his people and his team enough, honestly.
You've also met Floyd Mayweather, if I remember seeing correctly on your Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, but back in the time as well when he was sort of still active, like he needs no introduction. What was that experience like, and what did he say to you?
You know, that was fantastic. I mean, Floyd is a huge inspiration for me. You know, some people don't agree with his lifestyle outside the ring, but I'm like, he deserves it. Meeting Floyd was just great. I literally sat so close to him. It was by luck. Even it was by luck. And then after his talk, after his show, he invited a few of us to the VIP area. They confiscated everyone's phones, and I got to speak to him for a few minutes. And he was actually very humble. He was actually very nice to me. He even complimented me on my dress sense. He said I had swag. But it was very inspirational because, you know, to see him close up and for him to say the things he said, it further motivated me to definitely pursue a professional boxing career. He is my inspiration in boxing, alongside the likes of AJ and a few others. But it was an experience, a day I'll never forget. Honestly, meeting Floyd, I sound like a huge fan right now, which I am. It was a day I'll never forget, honestly. It was fantastic. I mean, I watch Floyd all the time on YouTube, on Instagram. I've seen him on Instagram recently, back in training on Instagram Live. That actually means so much to me because I always wanted to see Floyd fight one day, but I guess I might have missed that. But to see him go live on Instagram and see him train, it's like, wow, I wake up early, 6 a.m, see the notification, Floyd is live. I go and watch him train. That's how much it means to me. Yeah.